Good afternoon, everyone. And yesterday we have discussed something about biomolecules. And in this biomolecules, we have discussed about biomolecules are mainly of two types: macrobiomolecules and microbiomolecules. And today we will discuss about some of the biomolecules. And today we will discuss about some of biomolecules. And outline we will discuss just, and in detail we will discuss in our syllabus. Now let us see. First one, let us discuss about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the polyhydroxy derivatives of aldehydes or ketones. Means here these are the polyhydroxy derivatives of aldehydes or ketones. Other ketones, aldehydes or ketones, which means they consisting of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in them. Means carbohydrates are the polyhydroxy derivatives of aldehydes or ketones. Means they are the derivatives of aldehydes or ketones, and they are also having carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in their structure. And these carbohydrates are of three types mainly. The carbohydrates are three types. And what are the three types of carbohydrates? Means there are three types. Number one, monosaccharides. And number two, oligosaccharides. And number three, polysaccharides. Monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. These are the types of polysaccharides, types of carbohydrates. Now let us see what are monosaccharides, what are oligosaccharides, and what are polysaccharides. And monosaccharides, first one, monosaccharides. These are the simplest carbohydrates. These are simplest or simple carbohydrates. These are hydrates. These are composed of single sugar molecule. They are composed of single sugar molecule. Monosaccharides, these are the simplest carbohydrates composed of single sugar molecules. Means they are having only, these are all monosaccharides. Mono means single, saccharides means sugars. Means they are having, monosaccharides are composed of a single type of sugar. They are made up of a single sugar, and these are called as monosaccharides. And monosaccharides, for example, glucose, fructose, and galactose, and mannose, or some people say mannose. And these are the examples of monosaccharides. And glucose is having a single sugar. You are the formula means C6H12O6. And these are all the, these sugars are called monosaccharides, and they are all made up of a single sugar molecule. And this is about the monosaccharides. And the second one, oligosaccharides. Second one, oligosaccharides. And oligosaccharides, and they are composed of 2 to 10 monosaccharide units. These are composed of 2 to 10 monosaccharides. 2 to 10 monosaccharides. Oligosaccharides composed of 2 to 10 monosaccharide units. For example, monosaccharides are together joined from, or more than one means 2 to up to 10 monosaccharides are joined together to form a oligosaccharide. For example, examples of oligosaccharides are, saccharides nothing but sugars, and starch, maltose, and lactose. And these are the examples of oligosaccharides. Means more than one means 2 to 10, up to 10 only, and between these 2 to 10 monosaccharide molecules are joined together to form a oligosaccharide. Whether there may be 2 saccharides, monosaccharides, or 3 or 4 or 5, up to 10 monosaccharides are joined together. These are called oligosaccharides. For example, starch, maltose, and lactose are the examples of oligosaccharides. And the third one, polysaccharides. And polysaccharides are made up of, these are made up of large number of monosaccharides. Large number of monosaccharide units. Large number of monosaccharide units. Not 1 or not 2, not 3 or not up to 10, and more than 10 monosaccharide units are joined together to form a polysaccharides. Poly means many. Poly means many saccharide units are poly means many, saccharides means sugar units, and poly many saccharide units means many sugar units are combined to form a polysaccharide, means more than 10 saccharide units or more than 10 monosaccharides are joined together to form a polysaccharide unit. And for example, examples of these polysaccharides are starch, cellulose, and pectin. Starch, cellulose, pectin, agar agar, and these are all comes under the examples of polysaccharide units. Now this is about the polysaccharide units. And next, after the carbohydrates, now let us see about proteins. Proteins are polypeptide chains. They are proteins are polypeptide chains. Proteins are polypeptide chains. Proteins are polypeptide chains, and they are made up of amino acids, and the amino acids are joined together by a peptide bond. They are made up of amino acids and polypeptide bonds. They are made of amino acids. Amino acids. They are made of amino acids joined together. Amino acids joined together by peptide bonds. Peptide bonds. Here, for example, see, this is amino acid, and this is peptide bond, and this is another amino acid, and both amino acids were joined by a peptide bond. And this amino acid is joined by one more amino acid, and this is joined by one more amino acid, and this is joined by another amino acid, like this. So a more or a higher number of amino acids are joined by these peptide bonds together to form a chain of peptide bonds, or to form a chain of amino acids. A long chain of amino acids together form a protein structure. A chain of proteins, or a chain of amino acids. A chain of amino acids to form a protein structure. And this is about the structure of the proteins. And we'll see, and here the protein structure you see in the textbook, or let us see the detailed structure of the proteins in our lesson. Next, a thing that is called enzymes. Enzymes. Here, enzymes are complex proteins. These are complex proteins. Enzymes are complex proteins. Enzymes are complex proteins. means several different types of proteins together form a enzyme. And so all the enzymes are proteins, but not all the proteins are enzymes. And so each and every enzyme is made up of a complex type of proteins, hence they are called as proteins. Each and every enzyme is made up of proteins. And so they are complex proteins, means so these are made up of proteins. These are made of proteins are complex, means different kinds of proteins together, joined together to form a enzyme. And the enzyme is having the catalytic property. Enzymes are having catalytic property. Having catalytic properties. Enzymes are having catalytic property or catalyst properties. What are the catalytic properties, or what do you mean by these? Catalyst means here. Catalyst means which increase the rate of a chemical reaction. For example, here this is one substrate and this is another substrate, and both substrates in a chemical reaction. This is one substrate and another substrate, and both the substrates are reacted together to form a product, to release or to give a product. This chemical reaction should be occurred, and for this chemical reaction, and if some enzyme participates here, the rate of reaction is increased. For example, for the reaction between this substrate molecule and this substrate molecule, and to yield this product molecule, for example, 10 hours time is taken, 10 hour time, without an enzyme. But in the presence of enzyme, this 10 hour time is far reduced. Means this 10 hours time is reduced to only 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. That much reaction or that much speed of reaction occurs in the presence of enzyme. In the absence of enzyme, there is a much delay in each and every chemical reaction. In our body, the biochemical reactions occurs or metabolic reactions occur, and each and every metabolic reaction or each and every biochemical reaction in our body is led by the enzymes. In our body, the chemical reactions are led by, or they are done by in the presence of enzymes only. The chemical reactions are occurred in the presence of the enzymes only. Hence, our body can do much faster reactions and to release the energy. Means here, for each and every biochemical reaction, the enzymes are required. Means these are for each and every biochemical reaction, catalysts are required. Catalysts are nothing but enzymes, and enzymes are nothing but complex proteins. Means all the enzymes are made up of different kinds of proteins, but all the proteins are not made up of enzymes, or all the proteins are not enzymes. Here, these proteins are together are amino. For example, amino acid, and these are together form. This is called a protein. This is called a protein. Chain of amino acids, a protein, and this is a protein. Let us take this protein here, and this is a protein. This is a protein, and this chain of proteins together form a enzyme. But this chain of proteins together form all amino acids to form protein, and all the proteins to form an enzyme. And these enzymes are made up of proteins, but all the proteins are not acting as enzymes. Please do remember, all the proteins are not act as enzymes. Some proteins act as enzymes. Means enzymes are of only proteins. Means all enzymes are proteins. All enzymes are made up of proteins. For example, in our body, and for example, 1000 proteins are there. In these 1000 proteins, 50,000 proteins are used to form enzymes. and the remaining 50,000 proteins are having different works or different functions in our body. Means here, these are all 50,000 proteins are to form a 20 type of enzymes. For example, is 50,000, for example, here how many are there? 1,000 proteins are there, and these 1,000 proteins, among these 1,000 proteins, and 50,000 proteins are used to prepare enzymes, and remaining 50,000 proteins are used for another functions in our body. Means here all the enzymes are made by 50,000 proteins, and 50,000 proteins means all the enzymes are made up of proteins, but all the 1,000 proteins are not enzymes. They are having proteins are having different functions, and some of the proteins are used to prepare enzymes. And next, after this one, let us see one more. We have discussed yesterday nucleic acids. I discussed yesterday nucleic acids. This chapter is not that much easy. You have to go through the video more and more times, and you have to repeat watching this video, then only you can understand the class, or you can understand about these proteins or enzymes. If you have any doubt, and after the regular classes starts, and if I come to you, and then I'll try to clear your doubts when we are discussing a chapter that is called Biomolecules. In your lesson or in your syllabus, in first PUC, there is a chapter called Biomolecules, and in that we'll discuss in detail, and also I'll try to clear all your doubts. Now, in this class, observe clearly, pause the video, stop the video, and try to understand, and next move on to the next topic. Then only you can understand, and if you did not understand clearly, then once again repeat this video. Because up to now, whatever the chapters I taught, or whatever the introductions, or whatever the introduction of topics I given, and all are okay. And here this is somewhat complex or critical, and so that I am requesting you to repeat this video once again and again. Next one, nucleic acids. Nucleic acids. Nucleic acids. Why nucleic acids means the components or acidic components which are present in the nucleus of cell. For example, this is a cell and this is a nucleus. The acidic components which are present in the cell are called as nucleic acid. And what are the acidic components that are present in the cell are first one, DNA, and second one, RNA. You all know the full form of DNA, and DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid, and ribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. And these are the nucleic acids, and these are also biomolecules. And here, deoxyribonucleic acids are the nuclear substances, and they are also called as genetic material. They are also called as genetic material. Why these nucleic acids are called genetic material means they contain genetic information in them. They contain genetic information. What is the genetic information means? The information which is transported from parents to the next generation. Yeah, this is parental generation, and this is male parent, and this is another female parent. They both are crossed to give some children, and the genetic information from this parent is transported to these children, and this parent to this child. The genetic information is transported, And the genetic information, how it is stored means the genetic information is stored in the nucleus of the cell, and the genetic information is transported to different generations or next generations. And this genetic material is nothing but nucleic acid. The nucleic acids are two types, DNA and RNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. And what are the components of these nucleic acids, or what are the things that are present in the DNA and RNA? And here, both nucleic acids are composed of a pentose sugar. Here also pentose sugar, nucleic acid means both of pentose sugar. And a phosphate group, here also phosphate group. And nitrogen base, a nitrogen and also pentose sugar, phosphate group, a nitrogen base. The pentose sugar means 5 carbon sugar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon sugar, and a phosphate group and a nitrogenous base. Means they are a nitrogenous base. Nitrogen bases are different types in DNA: adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. 80 are adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, ATGs. Here, what are the nitrogen base means? AUGs. Here, thymine is not present in the RNA. In the place of thymine, uracil is present in the RNA. That is the difference. And one more difference. Here, the pentose sugar, here, ribose sugar is present. Here, deoxygenated ribose sugar is present. Whereas in this pentose sugar, ribose sugar means oxygenated, means here as a fifth place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the fifth place, the second place, one OH group is absent in this DNA, and here an OH group is present in this RNA, and this is the difference between nucleic acid, DNA, and RNA. This is about the nucleic acids, these are the biomolecules, and the remaining lipids and fatty acids we will discuss in the syllabus. And these are about amines. They are the main kind of biomolecules that we see in our lesson. And structure of proteins, structure of fatty acids, structure of lipids are there in your syllabus, and that should be discussed in our regular classes. And up to here is the outline of biomolecules, and some important biomolecules I have kept here and I have discussed here with you. And in the next class, it is online, then I will start from the first lesson from the online only, or otherwise after starting your lessons or after starting of regular classes, I will repeat once again. But here I have completed the botany portion of bridge course, so that I can start the regular lessons or syllabus from tomorrow on, or from next class onwards. Thank you.